Ai, agora sim.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Que assombrado, hein?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Oh.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
É, mas aqui não era quarto? Não era pra ser quarto aqui?
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Praticamente na casa todo mundo morreu.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Ué?
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Mano, tô ficando cabuloso aqui.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Beleza, beleza. Tô no quarto da menininha. Ok.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Peraí, deixa eu colocar o cabo aqui de novo.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Ok, a menina ficou trancada no quarto sem dormir, sem comer. Beleza, o que eu tenho que fazer? Ah, tem essa porta aqui. Nossa.
I kept eating and eating.
O que é isso? Pasta de dente.
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Vai. O que eu vou fazer? Ah, entendi.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Onde foi o passarinho? Eu buguei. Ah, tá.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Eu tô controlando isso, tá, galera? Nossa, tem um bocado desse jogo, mano.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up,
Eita, preula.
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Entendi. Eu só giro pros lados.
Rabbits!
Coelhos e coelhos. Esse jogo aqui só tá traduzindo só as letras só. O vocabulário não tá ainda. Ah, entendi. Ah, entendi agora. E eu tava moscando. Nossa, tem que fazer uma coisa, era só observar. Peguei.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Beleza, ninguém quer comer tudo. Tá com fome.
A mama rabbit.
Peguei.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Meu Deus. Que menininha com imaginação.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Meu Deus do céu. Beleza, vambora. Tubarãozinho. Não sei o que eu tenho que procurar. Achei.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Cadê o foco? Será que eu peguei? Achei. Chega bem pertinho. Estilo tubarãozinho mesmo.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Meu Deus. Esse menino não bate bem na cabeça.
I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Como que ele foi estranho? Ah, entendi.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Oi! Galerinha, já volto, vou fazer um negócio, já volto, é bem rapidão. Voltei. Deixa eu ver uma coisa. Ok. Meu Deus.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Deus do céu.
Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I
Meu
swam
Deus,
towards
mano,
it.
esse jogo não é de Deus. Nossa, eu tô arrepiado.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Meu Deus do céu. Nossa, beleza. Eu vim pelo mapa dentro.
I got closer and closer.
Ai, por ali. Nossa, gostei.
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
Meu Deus, mano. Meu Deus.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Tá bom, não é por aqui? Onde que é?
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Deixa eu ver se tem pessoas online. Não tem. Um gatinho correndo.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
Não salvo, perguntar salvar.
Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Beleza. Aqui era pra ter passarinhos, cobras e várias coisas. Ai, mano, essa família não
The
é,
room was like a
não dá.
museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their
Beleza, a família
newborn
tem uma
son,
maldição.
Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Beleza, acabou. Beleza, fazer um
Whatever's
desenho
wrong with this family,
de Odin.
it goes back a long ways.
Odin, beleza. Na minha família tem um deus.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Homem topeira.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Tá, acho que tem que sair daqui agora. Não. Tem alguma coisa aqui que eu vou fazer.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Só tem borracha.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Beleza, um diário. Outro diário, na verdade. Que abre com a mesma chave.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Meu Deus, mano. Essa família não...
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Perninha quebrada. Eu tenho que erguer as duas perninhas.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Será que eu vou sair daqui?
Sam, coming. Dinner's ready. Coming.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Tinha sempre perninha quebrada. Não lugar difícil de
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
chorava.
Calvin's story felt strangely
Mas é muito bom.
familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Boa, cheio de segredo. Não precisa de terror não, só é segredinho fabuloso.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ok.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Ofensa e coisa de Bárbara.
Here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Escuta a musiquinha.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Meu Deus. Pera aí, deixa eu ver. Se tem tinta aqui. Possível tudo amassar.
here is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your screen.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, we're dead, Walter.
Musiquinha de novo. Tá bom, qual que eu não deixei em cima muito?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And funny was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Mira, você tem que interpretar.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow.
Tô indo. Já volto. Galera, eu vou parar de... Eu vou fechar a live. Outro dia eu termino esse jogo. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. E fechou.